My name is Lucinda Evans, and I am the founder, member, and director of Philisa Abafazi Women and Family Center, which is in Steenberg in Cape Town in South Africa. Number one, the Constitution needs to be ratified. The Constitution was written in a time when there was no rights, there were no human rights. You know, the old apartheid people, somebody like me would have been taken, thrown in a police cell, tortured, kept for months and months and months. Nobody would know where I am. I would either die or I would come out maimed and so forth. And so the Constitution was written to make sure that those type of atrocities never happens. But the Constitution as it stands does not protect my life. It doesn't guarantee my safety or the safety of the women in this country. As a woman, my culture doesn't allow me to speak the way I speak. My culture also doesn't allow me to get involved in family business. I'm a woman, I should know my place in the kitchen, making food and looking after the children. So of course the backlash of where Philisa Abafazi found ourselves and herself is that the support that I think could have happened to us more than 14 years ago, or in this 14 years, didn't come. And therefore I had to do collaboration and form work in solidarity with other organizations and structures to support us. But the solidarity is also something that we really need to think about in terms of going to the Concord, keeping the government accountable. Radical feminism, of course, is something that I'm known for, and at times I've been lynched for saying it as it is. And you have to look at, it's not about you, because it's bigger than you as a leader. It is about the greater good. It's about understanding that when something is wrong, it's wrong. And whichever way it's going to be sugar-coated, like the president came in 2019, 5 September, and he lied to us. He lied to us in saying he will ensure that perpetrators of rape and femicide and gender-based violence never get bail. He lied. And he needs to be kept accountable. And everywhere where I come, I will say this, that the number one man in a position with power to protect us, he cannot protect us. He doesn't want to protect us. There's no political will to protect us. So I don't believe in things like 16 days of activism. I don't believe in it. I don't celebrate it. We have a beautiful celebration called Women's Month in August, where over 20,000 women in 1956 marched with the dompas and burned it, who helped the liberation struggle. Where are the women? Where are the generations of those women, their daughters, their sisters? Where are their national government? Who speaks about my vagina? There's no one. And so I've not given any of these current men permission to make these decisions for me. And if I have the resources and the will, I will contest the next elections, even if it's just locally. Because if we want to make those differences, it has to be one of us. If we want to change the policy, it has to be one of us. But also, if we want to keep people accountable for failure to protect us, we have to drive that process ourselves. I'm always at risk, but I have a daughter. I have a daughter, and I have a son. I raised my children in the understanding what equality should be in my home. But I have a daughter that's not able to be free and to get on the autobahn and travel at night. She can never travel on a train on her own. If she gets on an Uber, she takes her tracker with. And that's wrong. Because 27 years ago, we were free from apartheid. But women in our country, we are not completely free. Yeah, we are free from an oppressor, but we are still oppressed in the fact that there are things like violence in the country. And that is my motivation every day. My motivation is also the other women and families that entrust their daughters to our program, and the after school, in the youth program, and their sons. And so we change the narratives for our young boys that comes to the program, and we are modeling them that violence is not the answer. And we hope that in the next generation, I might not be here, that the intervention of the different narrative through the organization for the boys, that they would be able to say, no, I am my sister's keeper. And for our young girls in the program to say, my destiny is not the kitchen. And to just have children and be a wife. No, our young girls have to inspire to be the next president of the country. That is what is still keeping me motivated, jumping out of bed. And I crawl to bed at night. My work at best is not easy. It is hard. It is even harder that in the midst of where people are so negative, and is it ever going to come right, to remain as a beacon. And sometimes my beacon light is a bit dim, but at most I try to keep the beacon light going, not just for myself but others. And so I also believe that passing the baton on and allowing younger women in our space, and allowing ideas, allowing other perspective of how can we ensure that justice still happens in this daytime. And somebody says, but when? I said, in this daytime, in this lifetime. It might not be our lifetime, but we continue to plant seeds about what is justice. When are we going to get justice? When are we going to keep people accountable? And so on the milli scale, I keep people like the police accountable. They have to account. I keep local government accountable because they have a fiduciary responsibility. I keep the local councillors accountable. If the service doesn't happen, I write to your premier. I write to the mayor in keeping people accountable.